What's up, Raider Nation? This is Black Widow, and you are watching the Raider Homer channel.
What's up, Raider Nation? This is your boy Mike Summers from the Raiders Fan Convention, and you're watching the Raider Homer channel. Go Raiders!
Yarg, this is Captain Jack, and you are listening to the one and only Raider Homer here on his YouTube channel. Why aren't you here more often?
Hello, Raider Nation, and welcome back to the Raider Homer Superfan Show. This channel is growing because of you, Raider Nation. Your continued support is very much appreciated, so thank you all for your support and views. Now, I will continue to work hard to bring you interviews with superfans, club presidents, YouTubers, and podcasters in an effort to bring the One True Nation together under one cancer-free banner. So stay tuned and always remember to rep the Raider Nation with pride and poise and a commitment to excellence. With that being said, in this episode, I have the hard-working superfan, Joker Raider, founder of the JR60 brand. You've seen his One Nation merchandise all over social media and at the Oakland Raider tailgates. As you can see, I can speak for the comfort and quality of the JR60 brand. So be sure to check out JR60 at www.jr60brands.com. Tell them Raider Homer sent you. That's enough for me, Raider Nation, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.
Man, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good myself, man. I'm excited, you know. We're going on to HBO Hard Knocks, you know. I'm going to week 1 in Oakland. I've got a super fan on the line. I'm stoked.
I feel you, my guy. Yeah, man. I saw that today. I'm kind of excited. I kind of expected that, though. You know, that they're going to choose the Raiders as a logical choice.
Yeah, I mean, damn sure going to be entertaining. Hell, I'm going to buy HBO now.
Yeah, I think that's definitely going to be a no-brainer for any Raider fan to catch that. Give us a little insight behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely have some characters on that team that's going to make that worthwhile.
Oh, yeah, dude. I'm excited, man. Get some Raider football early this year.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right,
definitely,
cool, man. Go ahead.
Definitely, I mean, leading up to the season, kind of gets you pumped up. It's a pregame type, you know what I mean? It's kind of prep to let us know what we're actually dealing with, what we're looking at.
Oh, yeah.
So, definitely a must-see TV.
Hell yeah. That's a good thing, I think, for the Raiders, dude. I mean, you know, what do they say? Any kind of pub is good pub, right? And
that's right.
You know, those guys know how to handle it. You know, Gruden, he can handle the media, so can Mayock. Even MD showing that he could do it. You know, and AD loves it. You know, Carr, he's kind of, you know, he toys with it too, you know. But, you know, I'm excited.
He's low-key.
Mm-hmm. Except for that one time he came out and tried to fight that guy. But I understand that. When somebody's pushing your buttons, you know what I mean? Yeah, when you want to handle up when people push your buttons.
That's right.
All right, cool, man. So, you know, everybody out there in the nation knows that you're a super fan. Before we get into why you're a super fan, let's get into what makes you a fan.
Oh, man, I just love, the Raiders. I've been since a kid. When I was younger, I didn't really watch. I watched football. I didn't really have a favorite team. Wrestling was my thing. I used to love watching WWE wrestling, WWF wrestling, whatever. And I loved the good guy, bad guy characters that were involved. But really, I became a Raider fan back on January 15th, 1983. I know exact time. I know exactly what I was doing. 12 years old. I was hanging out in the living room of my buddy's house. They were all Jets fans. I'm from New York originally, so they're all watching the Jets play the Raiders in LA playoff game. And I'm watching the game, and I see the Jets uniforms, white and green. They're pretty ugly. You know what I mean? Wasn't really too impressed with them. And then sat there watching the game, and I'm watching the Raiders. And I say, man, I love that silver and black, that pirate on the side of the helmet. It was just something to it. Drew me. I was like, man, that's awesome right there. And then I was watching the game. I'm watching this one guy guy's going crazy the whole game. He's all over the field, 0 to 100, motors on high speed all along. It's Lyle Alzado, man. And the time I really became a Raider fan was him and Chris Ward, lineman for the Jets, were getting into it all game. Alzado grabs the helmet off his head and throws at him. See the helmet go tumbling downfield, like 10, 15 yards downfield. And at that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, man, this is it. I'm a hook for life. And that was it. That's what I did. I fell in love with the Raiders. I mean, they lost the game. I think final score was like 17-14. They lost. They lost the game in the playoffs. Next year, they went on to win the championship. But that's when I became a Raider fan for life.
For life, yeah, man. That goes way back, too. You know, I became a fan in 1990. And, I mean, at least you got to see us win, you know. That's cool. And of course, we saw us, you know, my pinnacle as a fan was in 02, you know, so I'm pretty sure that I'm going to see better now with Gruden back.
Yeah, the high and the low right there, right?
Yeah, I was stoked, you know, after that AFC Championship game. Man, that was badass, dude. The first time I'd ever seen my team in the Super Bowl, you know, of course, or go to the Super Bowl, but then, of course, we went to the Super Bowl. That's another story.
Right.
All right, cool. So now we know why you're a fan, you know, who your favorite player is and such. But, you know, you stepped it up, man. You weren't just a diehard fan, you know, you became a super fan, and you provide a brand for other fans out there to support, or, you know, to wear to support the nation, you know, and not just in a corporate way, but a grassroots kind of way, you know, and which to me is what makes the Raider Nation special, because there's so many business-minded people in this fan base that at a high level of fandom, you know, and I want to make sure that I promote as many of the Raider Nation that I can that has a business mind. So that's cool. So let's go ahead and get into JR60 brands.
All right. Yeah, I mean, JR60 brands, it really is something for the last couple of years I've been, you know, it's been festering inside of me, you know, something to do something a little bit different. You know, just dressing up, going to games itself is different. But I kind of wanted to do something to identify myself with, to help fans identify me with them, to kind of bond us and bring us together. And I figured JR60 brands, Joker Raider 60. That's my Instagram, you know, for social media, you know. And so I just said, you know what, let's spit it off into that. At the 60, you know, where I got that from was more about, man, just being a fan, you know, 60 seconds to a minute, 60 minutes an hour, you know, with every day. You know, this is in and out. You don't, there's no stopping, you know, it's no off season to being part of Raider Nation. So, you know, I really wanted to do something that was identifiable for fans, so that way they could identify with me and with each other.
Well, that's cool, man. I mean, that One Nation brand that you got going out there, man, that's a nice brand. That's a nice look, dude. And I like what it says about the nation, how we're all supposed to be one and back each other up, you know. So tell us about that brand.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. And that's basically what it was all about, man. It was, you know, something a little bit different. The JR60 brand is a brand that's, you know, for the fans, by the fans. And then I want to do something special that was, you know, identified. It's something, one thing I just can't stand is when I hear other teams talk about, you know, Steeler Nation or Titan Nation or something like that. To me, there's only one nation. It's Raider Nation, and that's it. So I wanted us as fans of Raider Nation to have something that we can identify with, that we can be thrown together as a family like we are. And, you know, that was really the birth of it. You know, back in 2017, I started building the idea of what I could do. I had the drawing set up, and then, you know, luckily enough, last fall, I was able to put out a few items with that Nation logo to kind of draw people in.
Yeah, man, I like it. I bought a shirt from you. I bought my daughter a shirt, man. We sported with pride, you know.
I appreciate that.
Hey, no problem, dude. I appreciate all the work you put in, dude. You know, you're putting in a lot of work, man. You and the other super fans, the club presidents, the YouTubers. That's cool, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think it's important. You know, what you're doing with this also is important. It's important for Raider Nation, man. What people don't realize, looking from the outside in, they hear the word Raider Nation, you know, they think about everything all together, the team, the players, everything like that. But they don't realize is that, you know, Raider Nation, there's the Oakland Raiders and there's Raider Nation. Raider Nation is the fan. It's that camaraderie, it's the family atmosphere. It's us being all together, getting together to tailgate. We may be having, you know, a losing season. It doesn't matter, man. The place is selling out, and the parking lot is live before the games. The love each other have for each other and one another, and just the tailgate. It's like a family reunion, you know, whenever we get together.
Oh yeah, One Nation. Well, cool, man. So you got JR60 brand, and then you got One Nation under that. So you're all about the nation. You're all about what we do as a nation. So let's talk about your charity that you do. That you donate some of this money that you get from these shirts to charity. So why don't you tell us what charity you donate that money to?
Yeah, man. Last year I had the bracelets, you know, 3 for 10. And that was to raise money to help fight pediatric cancer. My father passed away. He had cancer and back in '94. And, you know, so it's something that kind of hit home. But as far as, you know, what really is when you see children that are going through the struggle, this battle, this fight, these little warriors, man, it's heartbreaking. So I want to have do something that would give back, you know what I mean, make a contribution. So I did that last year. I made a contribution to Courtney's Courage for that. And then I just recently started, you know, last month I did the One Nation autism shirts, autism awareness, and I just want to do something different to kind of shine light, you know, on a group of people that I think are amazing, man. People look at people with autism as having a handicap, and I don't see it that way, man. I see these people, and they're brilliant. They're brilliant individuals. I just think the fact that a lot of people just don't take the time to understand what they're going through, you know, what their specialty is and how special they are to society, man. And so, I've met a few people that are affected with this as either having autism or affected with it as being a relative of somebody that does have autism. And, just spending a couple of minutes around them, you'll realize how special these people are. They're not handicapped, man. I don't see it as people being handicapped. I see it as people with a special gift. And I think that it just takes us as a society to come together and just try to learn how to understand stuff instead of trying to shed light on the negativity on things.
See, now that's how you're supposed to represent the One True Nation. Dude, that's fantastic, man. That's fantastic. You know, I'm in the Silver and Black of Central Texas, dude, and we have charity too. We have charity events. You know, we try to raise money. We do toy drives, food drives, dude. It's being a super fan obviously is more than just getting dressed and making shirts and stuff. It's about what you do outside of the Raider Nation, and it's about how you treat the Raider Nation, right? So, man,
that's
kudos
right.
to you, dude. Kudos to you, man. I'm glad that everything's paying off for you, man. Let's go ahead and keep going, right? So, we met at the draft, right? We met a couple nights at the draft. The first night, people were coming up to you. You were in costume, and people were coming up to you and taking pictures, and you were talking, and you were doing everything what you could to keep people happy. And you even took the time
right.
with me, to take a picture with me, to talk with me, and everything. You listened to my pitch for this episode and whatnot, dude. And then, the second time though that we met up at the draft experience, and I recognized you without your makeup on, dude. And we got into a big conversation about my podcast, about the Raider Nation. At that time, you told me about the origin of the Joker Raider. So why don't you share that with the Raider Nation?
Yeah, man. That's pretty cool. It's back in 2010. I mean, I've been a Raider fan for so long. I never, because of different things holding me back. I didn't have the opportunity to travel out west. I didn't have to travel to different games. And it was actually the first game I was ever able to go to. And I said, man, if I'm going to go to my first professional game, to go see my Raiders play, I want to do what I've seen 1,000 times, looking at the black hole, seeing everybody dressing up and feeling that experience. To go to a game, it was dressed up as actually like a Darth Maul character, like a Darth Maul I had silver and black paint scheme, just like Darth Maul. I glued the horns to my head. I had the whole outfit down from head to toe, and it was pretty dope, man. It was a great outfit. I got a lot of positive feedback. I was worried at first. I didn't know how I was going to be accepted. It's sometimes like kind of stepping outside my element when I did this. But when I got to the stadium and I'm walking around to different tailgates and I'm meeting everybody, it was the most incredible experience I've ever felt in my life, man. It was just instant love from the Raider fans. I've traveled from all over the country to come to the game. Even the Titans fans, they are very hospitable. They were sitting there wanting to take pictures, wanting to talk, and it was just an amazing thing. The problem was, in order to keep up the character, it was going to be tough, man. It took a lot of work, shaping my head, gluing the horns. The paint job it took hours to get ready. So it was something that you couldn't really just do and wouldn't be really comfortable to do on, going to games and stuff like that. Well, later that year, we had a costume party at work, and I dressed up as the Joker, in regular different colors, looked just like the character. It was a lot of fun, and a buddy of mine said, man, why don't you just do that, man? So I did it. I changed it up to something that'd be identifiable with the team colors, and that was it, man. It was just, from there on, it was, becoming the Joker Raider and trying to build up the brand, build the character, try to get out to different games, where I live in Tennessee now. Like I said, I'm originally from New York, lived in Tennessee, and, try to make as many away games as possible. Even going to a home game to me is an away game, so it's a long trip out there. But I did it and made it happen, and the Joker was born.
Any chance you'll be in New York this year?
There's a possibility, man. It definitely is. I've gotten some invitations out there to come out there for the Jets game. This year is definitely going to be a tough year trying to get everything together with travel. I try to travel as much as possible. I try to fulfill as many applications as possible. I just got back from California the week before last. That was pretty cool for the Black Hole. We had a float in the Santa Maria parade. So that was a great time. But there's definitely a possibility I might make it up to New York to the Jets game.
Man, I hope so, dude, because I'm going to be there, man. I would love to watch a game with you after week 1.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, cool, man.
Week one is a no-brainer. That's the game you got to make. You know what I mean? If you don't go to week 1, man, you're really missing out.
Yeah, that's what Jersey told me. That's what Jersey told me. She was like, "You got to go to week 1, man. Everybody's there." I was like, "Okay."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna make that one.
That's the one. That's the one nobody can miss.
Cool, man. You were just talking about the grind. The superfan grind. How many hours it took to get your makeup on and all the cost and travel and all that. I mean, talk a little bit about that. Let's take us behind the scenes of being a super fan.
Yeah, well, first of all, one thing I have trouble with accepting is the super fan label. I just see myself as a fan. I get ready for the game just like everybody else. I get pumped up, excited for the game just like everybody else. I just have to be, that might take a little further than dressing up, but I have so much respect for all the fans of Raider Nation, for all the fans, whether they dress up or not, whether they make it to the game or not, whether they're watching in the living room. But when I get the opportunity to travel to games, man, it really, a lot goes into it. I don't think a lot of people understand exactly what goes into travel arrangements, making sure the flights, I have an everyday job. I have a family that I need to spend time with, so I'd have to try to do stuff without trying to sacrifice too much from those things and take it away from my everyday life. But so people don't really understand what really goes into actually traveling to a game. It's flight arrangements, hotel arrangements. Once you get there, what's the travel schedule like? So I try to develop a full itinerary, and I try to follow it as much as possible. Being a fan that has character, I get invited to a lot of the parties. So there's that where you want people to, people want you. They want you to show up. They want you to take pictures with all the fans there. So, making those arrangements to make sure that it's each individual party on time. Then it's the tailgate, making sure that you make the rounds at the tailgate. So you got those things in line. As far as the costume goes itself, it has to do with just, keeping it fresh, keeping it relevant, keeping it clean, making sure that I have, I carry a lot of patches on my vest, making sure I have everything with me, dry clean, whatever I need to get done, and as far as getting ready with the makeup, the makeup itself, it probably takes me, my whole character getting ready takes me about 30, 45 minutes and I'm ready to roll. It's not that. The toughest part is on me really is the traveling.
Yeah, making all the deadlines and things like that. I mean, yeah, it's important when you commit to something that you make it. That's what, I'm having to do also when I commit to these parties, I got to go. So I'm learning about the super fan grind or the diehard fan grind. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm learning about the grind, being a traveling fan. So, man, like I said, dude, I can really appreciate what you do.
And you know what, the people that they appreciate it too. You know what I mean? As far as like, as far as the nation in Texas and Dallas, I went in there with Oso. I was there from the beginning. He asked me to show up. A couple of years ago, he asked me to show up at the preseason game against Dallas. I was like, yeah, man, I'll make it. I did everything I could to make it. He appreciated that I showed up. This year at the draft in Nashville, it's right up the road, but you got Music City Nation up there. They're doing a great job with their booster club they got going up there in Nashville. At the HQBK, they had a get together pretty much every night. And when I did it, I made sure I showed up. I made the obligation. I obligated myself to show up. I did, and it was pretty cool. And it really paid off. The thanks I got at the end of the weekend, even the manager of the beer cake came to me. He thanked me for showing up. He was like, "Man, you've been here every night. You did more than we thought we were going to do, and we really appreciate it." Stuff like that. To me, it's no big deal, man. It's just having fun. We're having a good time, and this is our little bit of escape from reality from our everyday grind of life, and it should be fun.
Yeah, I mean that's a commitment to excellence right there. That's nice, dude. So earlier you had mentioned the Santa Maria parade, right? You got a few stories from there, huh?
Oh man, it was incredible, man. It was I flew into LAX on Friday. The parade was Saturday, and so I got to LAX Friday morning. I had a good friend of mine, Fabian from Raider Nation Lifer. He picked me up. He actually drove 3 hours to come pick me up at the airport. That says a lot right there in itself. Hung out with him. We went to see the sights around Hollywood. Went over to the Marathon store. Check out Nipsey's place. Pay our respects. It was a pretty awesome experience. And then we shot up to Santa Maria, which was quite a drive, but we got up there. And I got to spend some good quality time with some other fans that I respect. My boss was there with his wife, Black Ice. Raider Goon was there. Jersey was there. Mistress of the Black Hole was there. So, Just the Raider was there. It was pretty much a who's who, old super fans, and it was pretty awesome, man, to spend some time with them. But the best part about it, I tell you, man, the parade was great. Meeting the kids was great. Taking pictures was cool. But the real part of that I really value is the relationships. And, Polo Rodriguez, head of the Santa Maria chapter for Black Hole, had me at his house, stayed at his house when I was there that weekend. Spent some quality time with him. The conversation that we had was priceless. You meet people, you have those relationships. My boss and I, Jersey and I, we have really good relationships. I've known them for years, and we've been really close. So those relationships I value. Marty Marr, the Homebox, they were there. So those relationships I value. I got to spend some time talking to the Mistress of the Black Hole, get to know, what she does for them, what she's all about. And it was really good just to have some real down to earth conversations, some real life, everyday conversations, normal, away from just, the Raiders and what we do. But it was just, we were just all friends, we were family there. And, it's pretty good, pretty incredible experience. I can only imagine what it's going to be like at the Raider Nation explosion in August 10th I mean,
Oh,
my
yeah.
boss has been working really hard with that. He's been getting it going, and I'm really excited to see what's going to happen. You know, when Merced, it's going to be at the fairgrounds. I mean, from the lineup that they have, it's going to be incredible. That's another one that's it's going to be hard to miss for anybody.
Yeah, I'm doing a little promotional video for the Raider Nation Explosion, and so I'm not gonna be able to make it, but I'm glad to be able to work with Mob Boss and even the Violator in that promotional video. Now you have a Violator story, don't you, from the Santa Maria parade?
Oh yeah, man. Let me tell you. Like when I think of Raider Nation, when I remember, watching TV, seeing Violator's always been an icon of the black hole. And I've had the privilege, when I meet him, I met him a few years ago, and man, it was instantaneous. You know what I mean? That love, the passion that he has, you just feed right off it. And he's very accepting, man. He sits there and he'll talk to you. First time I met him a few years ago, he talked to me like we've known each other for years. And we were in Santa Maria, man. We were reflecting back on that. We have a real deep heart-to-heart conversation about the passion of Raider Nation, where it starts, where it's going, what the future is. And Wayne, he's a great guy, man. He is the best of the best, man. No doubt about it. He's been a big influence on me, not just as a fan, but in life in general, from the personal conversations we had. And I value that, man. That man there is, he's a living legend as far as I'm concerned when it comes to Raider Nation, man. If anybody anybody has a chance to meet one fan that dresses up, a super fan, whatever, that's the one you want to meet. That is the one that anybody would want to meet. Hands down, that's it. And if you only had one to meet and that was it, that'd be the man to beat.
Well, I'm glad I met you, man. I'm glad I met you in Jersey, but I'm super stoked to meet the Violator too, man. I've been a Violator fan since the late 90s, dude. I mean, I think I got footage of him from 1997, I mean, I can't wait to meet that guy. And go ahead.
The best part about it, man, when you do meet him, he's going to talk to you like he's known you for years, man. And that's the way it is. He doesn't put himself above anybody else. He doesn't put himself on a plateau above anybody else. The man is a legit as it gets, man. I'm telling you right now, when he talks to you, when anybody meets him for the first time, he makes them feel welcome. He makes them feel as though he's known them for years, or you've known him for years. And it's just a nice, relaxing conversation. And you just feel the love that man just, it's pouring out of him.
Oh yeah, you can sense his passion, through the videos he puts out. So you just put out a picture with you, Mob Boss, in Jersey, with One Nation logo over it. I mean, I thought that should look badass, dude. So it got me thinking, man. What can we call y'all the Unholy Trinity?
If you like, man.
Okay.
If you like, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. That has a nice ring to it. It definitely does. Those are two people that are definitely been a big influence to me. The people that I know I can call. I can get off the phone with you right now. And if I have something bother me, I can call either one of them and have a conversation to them and be like, hey, man, I just need some advice. I need to talk to you. So I value their friendship. I value them as people, and they're definitly two of the most genuine people I've ever met in my life. Not just in Raider Nation, Jersey, she's a ball of energy, always happy, always having a good time. Everything is fun. My boss, man, he's just somebody that's a real down to earth, great family man. Someone that I have much love for, man. I love that guy, and if I needed advice about anything, about family, about something going on in personal life, I could definitely turn to him, definitely. You know what I mean? So, Jersey's definitely somebody, if I'm down or about and I'm not having a good day, I can call her up and be like, man, what's going on? She'll be like, what the fuck, dude? What's going on? Like, you know what I mean? And you just feel that bubbly attitude, and you just thrive off it, man. Those are definitely two really good, special people to me.
See, and that's why we say that the Raider Nation is more than just friends. They're family. We're all family. We should treat each other like that, right?
No doubt.
Cool, man. Let me see. All right, so I'm looking at your picture right here, man. I see your patches, dude. I'm working on getting some Silver and Black of Central Texas patches. Am I gonna be able to get you to sport a patch of the Silver and Black of Central Texas?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, definitely. And that's what that jacket actually, that outfit, that I've been wearing is going to be retired. Actually, I'm trying to retire it before the beginning of the season. It's something I'm wearing now at the different events that I do make. The newer one is pretty much not going to have anything that's Raiders, Oakland Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders, Los Angeles Raiders, anything. It's nothing Raiders going to be on it. And it's just going to be about different booster clubs, different bands, different charities. It's just, like I said, my whole motto is for the fans, by the fans. And that's what I want to do. I mean, I'm identifiable as a fan of the Raiders, yes. I've established that. But I want to also be identifiable to all the different fans of the Raider Nation. And I want to be, everything I do from here going forward is just going to be true Raider Nation.
That's cool, man. Hey, you know what, though, dude? Yeah, we're Raider Nation, man. But you know what? We talk about events, charity events, looking out for other people, dude. I think it's cool as hell that you made that Pancho Villa shirt, dude, in remembrance of him. And I'm glad that you did something like that, dude, because even though we might be enemies on the field, dude, in the stands, we can still be friends and talk. You know, I think that's fucking badass what you're doing with that shirt, dude.
Well, actually, to be honest with you, it's not my shirt. I actually bought it. I owed it to Black Widow. Black Widow actually posted up the link that was set up, and it was right after he passed. And I guess I believe it was his family that set it up through a T-shirt maker. She posted up the link, and it was a short run. It was just a limited edition. And as soon as I saw it, I jumped on it. I bought a couple of shirts. I bought a shirt for myself and my wife. And but I'm proud to sport it, man. I wish it was my idea. You know,
well, even if it's not your idea, dude, what I'm getting at, though, is that it's cool that you showed support to another fan base, another super fan that puts in work like you do. And even if you didn't come up with that idea, dude, what you're doing, it promotes it through your brand even. So that's what's cool, dude. I've seen a lot of other knockoff brands out there that talk a big game, but I don't ever see them doing something like you did, promoting other teams and promoting other people like you do, dude. I think that's badass.
Yeah, man. It's for the fans, by the fans. Like I said, you hate the team, you don't hate the fans. I had the privilege of meeting Pancho at the draft last year in Dallas. Man, he was a great guy, bro. It was another one that was he was our violator to us. That's what he meant to the Bills and Bills Mafia. You know what I mean? The fan base in Buffalo, they love this man. You know, here's a guy, same situation. He lives in Texas. He's from Texas. Huge Buffalo Bills fan, man. So he's kind of like in the same situation as I am. You got to travel to these games. But the outpouring love for him I saw, was amazing. You know, and this was last year. I took a photo. I didn't have the opportunity to take a photo with him. Somebody else took a photo with me with him. I didn't get. Unfortunately, if I can get a hands on it, I would love it. But after his passing, the seeing the tribute that the Bills made, the NFL made to him, man, it was really like, wow, man, it's pretty surreal. And I really feel for him and feel for his family, for everything he's done. But I can relate to his passion that he has and love that he has for his team. You can't do nothing but respect that.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what, though, right? You can come up with an idea for a shirt for me, right?
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
I want to get under the JR60 umbrella, man.
I feel you. I think we could try to come up with something. I'm sure if we put our heads together, we might be able to come something really respectful for you. I'd be happy to have you on board. Yeah,
and I want to make sure that what most of the money that would be coming to me goes to the charity events that you have, dude. I'm gonna be working on my own events, dude. Like I said, I was telling you in the previous calls, dude, I do this for the fans, man. If I were to use that money, it would be paid for traveling expenses or for, equipment. But I want to make sure that I get involved in charity events, man, because that's badass. That's the way to go as a Raider Nation.
Oh, no doubt, man. You know what? And that's really what it is about. If you think that there's people that think that you're going to get wealthy off of this, I'm not going to be nobody's getting rich off this. You know what I
Right.
mean? You just have to come into it with that and know what's your reason for doing this. What's your reason for being around? And my reason is like I told you earlier. My reason is for the love of the fans, the love of Raider Nation. You know, people don't understand it. It's not the Raiders. It's Raider Nation is the fans of the game, man. When we're going through a losing season, we stick together and we love each other. You know, and as far as if I could have the opportunity to get back, I've made individual contributions. Private individual contributions throughout the year. That I don't speak of because I'm not doing it for publicity. I'm not doing it for, for somebody to give me a pat on the back. I do it because it's genuine, because it's all love,
Yeah, it's all about representing the Raiders, with pride, poise, and a commitment to excellence.
Yes, sir.
All right, cool, man. Well, I know you're busy, man. I know you're busy, dude. I appreciate all the time that you spent on the phone with me, setting up this interview. And I look forward to getting you on for future episodes, and mostly Tales from the Oaktown, which is going to be a series which documents what could be the last year in Oakland, where I'll have superfans send me footage and pictures, and then we'll record a call, a 20-minute, 30-minute call per game. So hopefully I can get you involved in that. I'm looking to get Jersey, Mob Boss, and whoever else I can get, enlisted. So, just keep an eye out for that.
I appreciate that. Yeah, man, I think that's a pretty awesome idea right there. Trying to give everybody that little fan experience of what actually happens at the games.
That's right, because Oakland is amazing.
That people don't experience. If I could say one thing, it would be to get out to Oakland this year and experience what it is. I'm so happy. I mean, I'm living a dream. Things that are on my bucket list. Going to a game was first. So I went and did that. Dressing up to go to the game, I did that. Going to Oakland for a game, I did that. Becoming a season ticket holder, living in Tennessee and being a season ticket holder in Oakland, I did that. I got my season tickets, for Vegas when we moved there. So it's just going to continue. It's going to continue getting bigger. And I tell everybody, hey, if you could do it one time, man. Make that sacrifice. Whatever you need to do, put a little off to the side to make that sacrifice to go out to Oakland to catch a game. You will remember it for the rest of your life. You will not regret any second of it. You'll go out there. You'll have the best time of your life. And it's something that you will remember on your deathbed. I mean, it's one of those things that are like, wow, amazing. And it's not going to be duplicated ever. This is it.
Yeah, You know what? Before we go, that's one thing we can talk about too, is like the move to Vegas, all the politics aside, you need to get there, because the fan experience there is not going to happen anywhere else, man. And that's amazing what goes on over there at the tailgates, man. How everybody is open-armed and inviting, dude. You can drink, you can eat, you can talk Raiders, you can take pictures, and they got players walking around so you can get autographs. You have to get to Oakland.
Oh, no doubt. You know what I mean? I'm as far as the move to Vegas, it's kind of like a bittersweet pill to swallow. I really feel for the people of Oakland. If you actually get out to Oakland, you talk to the people that live there, you can really feel the pain. And there's a mixture of anger and there's a mixture of pain. And it's something that you would not understand. Nobody could understand unless you actually live there and understand it. So I don't judge. I don't judge how they feel. I don't sit there and say, you know what, get over it or what have you, because it's something you can't get over unless if you live that and it's been in your backyard for so long, man. It's ingrained in you. It's part of your life, man. And you know what? I really hurt for those people out there. I'm hurting for the people that are actually from Oakland. But it doesn't make it any less painful just because I don't live there, because that's the tradition, man. It's the Oakland Raiders. It's always going to be the Oakland Raiders. When they move to Vegas, man, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna have trouble considering them the Las Vegas Raiders or the Vegas Raiders. They're just gonna be the Raiders to me. But for me, ingrained in me, it's always gonna be Oakland. It's Oakland forever, man. I can honestly say that. It's disappointing that they're leaving. It hurts me as a fan that they're leaving. I'm excited about the state-of-the-art complex again. They deserve a stadium. They deserve something to kind of to live up to that commitment to excellence. You know, they need the new stadium. I'm sorry it didn't happen. I really wish it would have, man. But you know, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to move with the team and support the team. I'm going to support the Raiders, but my heart's always going to be in Oakland.
The Raiders' roots will always be in Oakland. You know, I went there for the first time, man, and I remember being okay with the Vegas move, you know, before I went to Oakland. But when I went to Oakland, you know, it's like, whoa, now I see what everybody was talking about. So one thing to hold on to is that the Raiders' roots are always going to be in Oakland, you know. So.
Oh, definitely. Nothing's going to be, like I said, they're not going to be able to replicate that in Vegas. It's going to be something different. It's going to be something new. They're going to capture their own identity when they're there. But that real hard nose, that grit, that blue collar, man, it's going to be, you know, it's in Oakland. They're getting down, dirty and grimy and fighting and scratching and clawing. That's Oakland, man. You know, when people think about Vegas, they're thinking about the glitz and the glitter and the showtime. But like I said, they're going to have a different identity when they move, you know, and that's going to change. And, you know, that's kind of sad right there when you think about it.
Yeah. Well, see, I'm thinking about pulling Wayne Mayberry and moving from Texas to Las Vegas. So I know he moved from Mississippi to California, but I might be moving to Las Vegas.
And you know what? That's a whole different story for another program. But I was lucky enough for him to share that story with me about his move, and it was.
Hold on, no, I'm gonna try to get him on here to tell that story, bro.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's somebody. If that's definitely a must-have.
Oh yeah, I'm just working. I'm working on that script, man.
But yeah, definitely. He's definitely a man that has a billion and one stories. You can sit here for weeks and just listen to everything he has, and you know, never be bored, and to be at the edge of your seat and he'll make you feel like you're actually there while it's happening.
Well, dude, I gotta say, man, thanks again for coming on the show, dude. You know, it's been a long time coming, man. It feels like, you know, I'm glad we finally got this episode recorded.
It's my pleasure, man. I'm thankful that you let me come on, let me speak, and you thought enough of me actually to have me on the show, man. Thank you.
Thank you, man. I'll give you a call again.
Yes, sir.